Hello, my fellow readers. Today it is time once again for a quarterly review. So this will be a review of all the books that I've read July through September of 2024. And there were a lot. Once again, I feel like sometimes I've definitely read more than this, but yeah, it's still a lot. And I'll go into details when we get to the computer, but it's been a lot. There were a few books that, there's one in particular that is going on to one of my favorite books of the year that I read during this quarter, so I'm very excited about that. And it is most just shocking to me to think that this will be the last quarterly review that's published in 2024, because the one that covers October through December will be my January video. So I am just shocked. This year's gone by really, really fast, but you know, right now it's been okay. We're getting by. So without further ado, I'm just going to turn it over to me on the computer and show you what I read. So here we are taking a look at the 2024 reading log from July through September. And we start right here at 315 with Shadow Stitch, which was the continuation of a series, and now I can't remember the first one in this series, but I have been enjoying these. It's by Carrie Thomas, and I'll just scroll through here so that you can get a quick look. I'm probably not going to mention any from here. It's easier for me to do that on Goodreads because I can see the cover and it triggers memories. But for sure, I feel like these 3 months just flew by, and I can't believe that this will be my final quarterly review for that's posted this year. Of course, I'll have my final review for October through December, but that will be published in January. So this is it, and it's wild. We ended this time period here with the Atlas Complex, 479, which means that for this quarter, I finished 134 books. So there we have it. I do know, I think some of my stats and charts are a little off because I think it stops tracking some of the things, although I could be wrong. Some of it will be fine, like the format and everything, that should be fine. Obviously, this year I've not read a lot of nonfiction, but I think looking at format here, the audio, print, and digital, this is an accurate look. Genre, it's about what it normally is, mostly fantasy, a little bit of romance, then some mystery and horror, general fiction, sci-fi. I'm actually surprised that sci-fi was that high. I think that's probably from a couple of Assassination Classroom and some of the other series that had more volumes in it. Just want to see. This is where I'm not sure. Probably page count will be correct, but I know some of the things stopped tracking, and so I'm not sure if it'll all be correct. Here, book source. You can see a big chunk that's from the library, a big chunk that is a review copy, and then less so here. It's interesting too, again, this is like Library General, but then there's Hoopla and Libby, which are also library, so it's a little weird. And then books finished by month. You can see so far January was my most read month, but that makes a bit of sense to me, so moving on. Nation of Origin, I think that's just kind of cool. More than half of my books were from authors other than US. And all the other stuff is just kind of, it's interesting, but I don't need to spend a lot of time on it. I try to read diversely, and I guess not even intentionally, so I just do. And there's not much here. I don't keep that. I think this should portray, that I'm all done with the Read Harder challenge. I think right now I have finished all of my reading challenges for the year. So, thank goodness. And lastly, let's just head over to Goodreads where I can talk a bit more about some of the books. Oh, here it is right here. Threadneedle. That was the first book, and then Hedgewitch was like an in-between book, and then Shadow Stitch, where we start this quarter, was next. And I'll see if there's just anything that I want to talk about. I don't think there was too much that I didn't talk about. Obviously, there'll be some of the books that I've reviewed. You can see it get into Draconathon around here where there's more like dragon books. Dark and Secret Magic. This one was an arc that I read. It's out now. I did like this book. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it was... it's a story with witches in it, and the main character, I believe she's settling for the life of a hedge witch, if I remember correctly, and in doing so she like has to give up part of her power, and so it's heading toward that. But then her first love comes back into her life and is upset that she seems to be on that course, and saying that people have not told her the full truth about her power, and it's just the unraveling of this whole story. And it was pretty good. I did like it. You might see this in the future. Last One at the Wedding is another arc that's available now. I enjoyed this a lot. It's about a really wealthy family who can get away with murder. And I think I did mention Feathers of Dawn for Draconathon, but if not, this was a really good read. And so is The Hedge Witch of Foxhall. I enjoyed both of these books. Let's see what else. This one I am 100% sure I'm going to be talking about in the near future. Sorcery and Small Magics. I have really, I loved this book, and so I'm definitely going to talk about it. I also saw a hint that might be coming in one of my Fairy Loot boxes, although I had ordered a hardcover edition from Waterstones. So really, we're going to be talking about this book in the near future. Oh, I don't know what else to point out here. A lot of interesting reads. And of course, some that I talked about. Once again. In case you haven't heard and haven't read it yet, TJ Klune has released the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and it was very good. I always get a little bit nervous going into a second book, especially for one that felt fairly well wrapped as a standalone, and I'm always worried about why are you going back into it, and is something going to happen to all of my favorite characters. But this is a really good continuation, and I would recommend it. It's very emotional, but well done. I mean, TJ Klune is really good at doing that, so that's all I'm going to say. Any other ones that I might want to talk about? There's some here that I will be talking about, especially Nina, the Starry Bride, which is here. I will 100% be reviewing that, so you'll see that very, very soon, probably within the week. Pilo of the Woods is another one. Pilo? Did I say Pilo? It's Pilu of the Woods. I will be talking about that one. I enjoyed that very much. And Finding Camellia. I believe that's what that is. I'll be talking about this one. And probably knowing how to pronounce it. Breath of the Dragon is another arc I just finished recently. And this one is from Fondly of Jade City, and I really enjoyed it. It felt like reading a shonen title, which sometimes I'm not the biggest shonen person, but I don't know. There was the whole arc of here's the setup for the character, and then they have the whole training arc and the whole tournament arc, and then it's leading on to what's going to happen next. But Fondly does some great writing, so this is really good, and when it comes out I would recommend reading it, but it's going to be out in the future. I don't remember the exact date. And we end it really right there because the Atlas Complex was last. Atlas Complex, I'm going to be completely honest, I was slightly disappointed in. I mean, I thought it was still good enough and fine. It's the author's decision, but like, I don't know. I was expecting a bit more from it, and I was a little let down. Honestly, I was a little let down since the fairly easy death that happened in the second book. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But I was so disappointed because I really loved the first book. I thought the Atlas 6 set up this great premise, and it had like the great kind of reveal and betrayal in it. And then, I don't know. It just kind of got lost in the weeds somewhere. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that. Really, this is a quick update because I don't feel like I don't know. I finished some books that I really, really liked. But at the same time, I don't feel like I want to talk too much on them here. So, just know I'm still reading. I feel like I am trying to like slow down and control my reading and really do the things that I either want to do or sometimes I have to do it because it's for like a book club or something. But in general, I'm trying to be very conscious of what I'm reading and how I feel about it, and not feeling like pressured to do anything. I did see one that I did forget to mention, and that is Swordcrossed, which is out now. That's another arc that I read. It's a romantasy, and I enjoyed it. It was a good time. There is more spice in this one. So whereas Sorcery and Small Magics is, and again, I don't want to get too much into it, but is such a slow burn. This was not. There's spice and yeah. But it was also a sweet story. I liked it, and I couldn't wait to figure out like how it was all going to work out in the end, and it was just really good. But honestly, that's it for my update. So, if I had to pick a favorite book from the quarter, it's definitely going to be Sorcery and Small Magics. But there were some other ones that I read and loved. Somewhere Beyond the Sea, Apprentice to the Villain, both like continuing storybooks I really, really enjoyed. I mean, honestly, a lot of them were a series that I was continuing. So Boy of Chaotic Making is the third in the Wimbrel House series, and there's a fourth one coming. I think it's not until next year, but there's a fourth one coming that I'm hoping will wrap everything up. So I don't know, beyond like series that I'm continuing that I still enjoyed, I'm not sure there's too many more that I would like highlight. Nightmare Before Christmas is a really sweet romance book, and How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying is fun, and this next book is coming soon. Winter Wish is just a sweet emotional holiday story. I honestly, I think I've pointed out all the ones that I would like highlight for this time period that I didn't already highlight and talk about. But in general, we're still going strong with the reading. There's still so many great books out there. I hope that you're able to find some stuff you really enjoy reading, whether it's light novels, manga, graphic novels, full-length novels. I don't mind. I just hope you're out there finding stuff you really enjoy. And I'm going to turn it back to me. And so there you have it. I ended September on my 479th book of the year. And of course, that does include manga and graphic novels. Forgetting my words. But yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely still at least a book a day, I think. And of course, some of those days are finishing light novels, which are much faster. And then some are finishing books that are much longer that I've spent a couple of days on. So I don't know. I'm just going to continue chugging along. Toward the end of the year, I'm going to read what I want to read, what I like, and that's just it. You probably have noticed I have not done a TBR recently, and that's just because really for the end of the year, I'm just sort of focusing on getting through each of these months and really just enjoying reading by reading what I want to read and not feeling obligated to do a certain thing, because I think I was getting a little bit burnt out. So I was like, no. And it's not that I'm not still reading light novels and books from the library. I am. I just really didn't want to have that set pressure. I'll probably do some again next year, but right now I feel kind of just I need a little break. I do believe at this point I've completed, and this is stuff I'll really get into for the end of year stuff, but I believe that at this point I've completed all of my reading challenges for the year, and I'm just ready to kind of relax and focus on like more crafting and just enjoying what I do get to read. And that's about it. And again, I already talked about like the stuff that I liked, so review that part. That is it for this video. Until next time, bye.